All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media inside of Gillette Stadium as the Patriots continue to get ready for 2025 training camp starting on Wednesday. But first, multiple press conferences here on Tuesday. Mike Vrabel, Hunter Henry, Brendan Schooler, and Christian Gonzalez all spoke to the media. Mike Vrabel kicking things off, and really the main point I thought was Stefon Diggs, healthy, looking ready to go, cleared his physical, and Mike Vrabel said he looks like he has no limitations. So first of all, Taylor, I want to get your thoughts on that, and also just what Diggs being healthy can mean for the rest of the room. There will be plenty of trickle down, obviously, on the inside receiver, outside receiver positions. Both places really sort of, the depth chart starts to trickle down after that. So your thoughts on Diggs being back with the Patriots, clean bill of health starting training camp?
Well, it's nice to hear from Mike Vrabel that there shouldn't be any limitations, because when we did see Stefon Diggs, he was participating, which was still crazy coming off an ACL, and just cooler to see how fast he's been able to come back. But when he did participate, it was usually in slower pace drills earlier in practice, not doing anything full speed, and there's not a lot of contact in the spring, but really clearly trying to avoid that. But if there's no limitations, maybe we see him in pads, maybe we see him going the length of practice. Mike Vrabel also pointed out, like any player, he's not going to be out there for every snap of every play, but those reps with Drake May are obviously going to be huge, so hopefully he can be on the field for those. But if he's on the field with Drake May, you're expecting him to be the primary Z receiver, right? You've got your X, who's on the line of scrimmage, usually isolated. A Z is more of a Julian Edelman type. He can go in motion, usually lines up outside, but can also be inside in certain packages. That's where Stefon Diggs is probably going to live, but it's where we've seen Kendrick Bourne. When Diggs wasn't participating in the full speed, it usually was Diggs in that Z receiver spot. Then you've also got Jalen Polk. Mac Hollins, whenever he gets healthy, might factor into that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it affects a veteran like Kendrick Bourne. Is he strictly going to be on the second team now? And even a guy like Efton Chisholm, where when Kendrick Bourne and Stefon Diggs were absent during the spring, Efton Chisholm was given more opportunities that he took advantage of. Still think Efton Chisholm's got a pretty good inside track on this roster, considering how much the backup quarterbacks like him. But at the same time, he might not get as many opportunities with Drake May. So that's going to be the thing I monitor. How exactly is that Z receiver position shaking out? Is it going to be a rotation, maybe easing Diggs in? Or are you saying, no, we want Diggs and May to get as much chemistry as possible. We're sticking them out there and we're keeping them.
A couple other injury updates from head coach Mike Vrabel. Jelani Tavai currently on the PUP list after suffering a calf injury in the offseason program. He will be out at practice tomorrow. Same with Carlton Davis, mentioned that the cornerback who the Patriots signed this offseason will be back out there. He's currently on the non-football injury list. And then a big one, not on an actual list, but defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, who missed the offseason program with what the team has dubbed a health scare, will be back out there as well. Someone who Mike Vrabel mentioned has always been his defensive line coach everywhere he's been throughout his coaching journey. Obviously, that's just at Tennessee and then also here, but someone who he has relied upon heavily. So thoughts on those guys coming back, as well as how important it is that the team actually has their defensive coordinator here in person this week.
Yeah, it's huge. The biggest thing Mike Vrabel touched on about Terrell Williams is that he's able to reach players not just on the defensive line, but at different positions and also on the other side of the ball. So that leadership is obviously going to be key. Also, we mentioned Terrell Williams always has his units ready and disciplined. So those two things, obviously, in the Patriots defensive front were not as present as you would have liked in years past. Now, hopefully, that reverberates throughout the entire defense, and it gets back to the Patriots defenses that we all expect. And a big part of that is going to be one, Carlton Davis, as we mentioned, thought this might be Alex Austin's opportunity to get some more reps. And with Carlton Davis as a veteran, we could see a rotation. Doesn't mean he's going to be there out there on every snap, but still going to be nice to see what Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez can do when they're opposite each other. And the other return that we have on defense, Jelani Tavai, someone we mentioned, weak side linebacker, absolutely a position that we're going to have to watch. On early downs in the spring, a lot of that was Jelani Tavai. Christian Ellis worked in, and then you also have guys like Marte Mapu, Jack Gibbons, a lot of different options at that spot. But if Jelani Tavai remains the early down option as he's been in years past, gives you a lot more confidence, I think, in, again, this early down linebacking core, because we know Robert Spillane's the kind of guy you don't really need to take off the field. But as Evan mentioned in our show, I think Jelani Tavai is best as a Robin. You could even call him Nightwing, right? He can do his thing, and he's a good player, but he does need somebody to complement his skill set. I think Spillane's perfect for that. So it's just nice to see those veterans on the field, especially with Tavai. We had no idea what his status was going to be this summer.
CLNS Media is powered by Prize Picks, the best place to get in on the action, even throughout the summer. There is still baseball, there's women's basketball, and Taylor, we are right on the cusp of football season. There will be preseason games loaded up on Prize Picks, so if you want to get in on the action, head over to Prize Picks. Use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Obviously, this is Mike Vrabel's first season here with the Patriots. He's done training camps multiple times with the Tennessee Titans, but as he said, the things they emphasize are the things they're going to get. It'll be exciting to see how he puts it out there. Brendan Schooler, who actually mentioned he wanted to be a captain this season, said that while they're not scared of Mike Vrabel, they know he's not messing around.
I think Coach Vrabel brings, a different vibe, and I can only speak for the years I've been here. He brings a different vibe from the years previous, where you're not scared, but like he's not messing around. Like if you're not on your P's and Q's and you're not doing exactly what you're asked to do, how you're supposed to do it, then I don't think guys are going to be sticking around long. But and that's not to scare anybody or to be rude. I think it's just the nature of the business, and he's not messing around. So I think there's that aspect of it, but there's also the excitement that he brings and the energy that he brings, because being a former player, he knows the difficulties that we have to go through, and so to have him at the helm, I think it's it's going to be beneficial for us, and we're gonna see what happens and see where the chips fall.
Patriots begin training camp practice on Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium. Myself and Tayler Kyles will be here for CLNS Media with all of your coverage. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe here to the Patriots Press Pass channel, and check out all of Taylor's written work on clnsmedia.com.